Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the Red Hawk Sports Network for our home opener for women's lacrosse. Alongside John Kostabin and Matt Bruchet, I am Jess Lipson. As we get ready, we return here to Sprague Field, guys.
It's been a while, right? It's kind of it's interesting to be back here. We had some good fall action here at Sprague, but now we're back for the spring. It's fun.
Yeah, totally. Matt, we had a crazy season for the Red Hawks last season. Historical wins, made it to the NJAC finals. Hopefully we can do that again. As we have I think we're about to start this game, but quickly run us through who maybe will stand out for you on the Montclair State side.
I mean, one name that jumps out to me immediately is Tristan Conan. She was one of the leading scorers last year, and she's coming back, and I think she's going to repeat that.
Yeah, and then on the other side for Haverford, we know they have not really had a season in the last 2 years, just to combine 2 games with COVID and everything on that side. John, how can we expect them to come out in this one?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, right? These two programs have never faced off before. And then Haverford, last year, only 1 game. So there's nothing to go off of if you're Montclair State. You're kind of just going to have to ride it out and feel them out during this game. I think that's what we'll see in the first half. And, for them, looking at Montclair State, they've got a bunch of tape, right? They've seen Montclair State play, and they have so much to go off of in research. So they actually have the advantage coming into this one.
Yeah, no, it's funny you mentioned that. It's just so, us trying to prepare for this game is exactly like Montclair trying to prepare for this game, because we're trying to do research on Haverford and trying to learn the players and the way that they're going to play. But there's really not a lot to go on. I was trying to research Sarah Kahn from Baltimore, the goalie, and she's only played probably 11 games in her entire career just because of the fact that COVID has had such a huge impact.
Yeah, and then on the offensive end, they had that win at that lone game where they won 20-17. They had some top scorers in Hladke and Morris. Both get 5. They'll both be starting in this one. And then on the Red Hawks side, though, this is a team that's coming in 19th in the country, a top team in the NJAC now, and ready to make some noise. So it'll be exciting to see from that end.
And it'll be interesting to see again how this team adjusts the fact that they're without Malstad, they're without Costigan, right? Those are 2 really, really big pieces from last year's success. And they ran the offense, right? Costigan was an assist. I mean, she dished the ball every which way. And obviously Malstad, what a great natural scorer she was. So not having them for this season, you're going to have to ask more players to step up.
Yeah, I think the one thing the Montclair has is they have that returning factor with the 5th-year eligibility for a lot of their seniors, and a couple of them are taking advantage of that. In Tristan Conan and or Morgan Conan and Alan Lillian,
Claudia Fry as well, graduate student coming in this year, and it's. The experience on this team is going to have to inform the younger players, because now the roster is a little bit of a turnover. You've got younger players kind of just coming up and starting to fill starting roles where they maybe weren't expected to do so before. So you're going to have to find that balance between trusting the experience that stayed on, players like Rhiannon Brown and the ones that you mentioned, Jess. So I think I have a lot of confidence in this team to try and replicate the success from last year.
And you talk about experience, what more experience can you get than a coach that's 17 seasons in, Coach Parsaluzzi. She's done such a great job with this program, and expect that to continue this season.
Yeah, she actually has a new assistant coach this year who was a head coach at her previous school. So you're getting that expertise as well. They're setting themselves up to be really good. And then on the other end, leading the Fords is Coach Katie Zakelli in her 5th season. She started there for a couple years as the assistant coach, and then now has been there as the head coach for 5 years. As we get this one underway, and the Fords will start it off. Mikolas able to move the ball forward. Now Frentz. The Fords trying to get something going here early on as they pass it around the half circle. This Montclair State team has a lot of really good offensive players, but their defense is really where they are strong. as Hladky moves inside, and she puts a ball into the back of the net, and in just under a minute, the Fords get out to a 1-0 lead. So no rust for them as they, come out firing.
I mean, that's the best start that you can get off to. I mean, 45 seconds into this game, and they're already on the board. That's
and it shows you that Hladky is not, it's not a fluke, right? Those 5 goals in the one game they played last year. She's a goal scorer, right? And getting her team out to a quick start. Anytime you can put up a point on the board in the first minute, you're in good spot.
Yeah, they had a lot of good ball movement there. Really kept Montclair on the back of their heels and able to get it going.
Yeah, it's funny that we were mentioning like the rust. Maybe Haverford's gotta shake off the rust, and how Montclair State had such a great season last year, and it was like completely flip flopped here.
As Montclair State tries to get it going now, it'll be our CD bringing it up, passes it to Conan. Conan throws behind the net, finds Stack.
Haverford not pressuring. They're just staying in their zone, just not letting anybody penetrate in between the circle.
Conan trying to make her way inside now. She'll step back out. Gets it to Doran. Back out to Conan. And now Conan trying to make her way around. Looks like Montclair State will reset. Stack passes it up top. And now Montclair State with another opportunity inside. Looks like she'll get beat up as she tries to make her way inside, and we'll see our first free possession shot. Position shot of the game.
being a pretty aggressive on Brown there, because she has the experience, right? She's coming in hot with that ball, and they just wanted to break it up. Now she's got a chance.
Brown just stopping and shooting as she knots this one up at 1. Montclair State now on the board. They just needed something, to break through there, and now with just 2 minutes in, I think we're gonna have a pretty high scoring game if it continues like this.
We're on pace for like a 60-60 final.
Right.
But yeah, great job from Brown to take the aggression to try and get inside and end up getting fouled. That caused this goal.
And that's part of trusting the experience, right? And when you get down to an early deficit, it's only 1 goal. And we know how quickly scores can change in lacrosse, and momentum can go either which way at any point. But to get that quick goal right up ahead and tie things up within the first couple of minutes is exactly what they needed.
And Brown, the one who just scored there, kind of taking over for Costigan. She was a starter last season, but, having maybe even just a little bit bigger of a role already, making the most of it as she gets it to Morgan Conan.
And that's another thing without Costigan is the draw controls, right? That Montclair State is going to have to find a way to break through. She was so good starting possessions for this team, and now more players are going to have to fill that role.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about lacrosse is, just after a goal is scored, it doesn't just go to the other team. You can legitimately get a goal and then get the ball right back.
Montclair State now inside. Morgan Conan having to then get back out. That's just expertise right there. You're so close to the net, but she realized she'd have a better opportunity. She just resets.
And Brown there with the save, they were able to slap that one away from our CD, and it looked like the Fords were going to take control, but Brown was in there to scoop it up.
That's what I'm saying. No. On a mid shot.
Nice little ball movement here for the Red Hawks. Tristan Conan now inside. No look shot. Nice block there for Khan. Montclair State putting the full field press. Is that the terminology? Full field? Full court? Brown not letting Kahn pass it out. And Montclair State taking it back.
Go to 60.
I think Montclair State has done a good job of kind of just keeping the pressure on and giving themselves chances for the possession right there. You almost saw Conan come in with the steal. It looks like they're going to pick it up.
Brown with a nice job getting it to Conan. And now Conan on the attack. She has one defender in front of her trying to make her way around. Seems like she'll be pushed out behind the back of the goal.
And that was a good job by Krieg as well to just push Conan out to behind to where now Redhawks are going to have to pass around. It looked like Conan for a second was going to be able to get that turn towards the net, but it was a good defensive effort by Krieg to keep her at bay.
Our CD seems like she's calling out a play here. Nice move there by Brown as she puts a shot on goal. Not going to happen. And it's back out to the Redhawks ball.
And I also think Montclair State is doing a great job of controlling the pace here. They're just kind of passing, waiting for things to open up.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, we saw Haverford get off to such a great start the first 45 seconds, but ever since then, these past 5 minutes, it's been all the Redhawks.
As our CD will have her chance at a free position shot. She runs inside here and puts a shot into the back of the net. Montclair State 2, Fords 1.
And our CD ran to begin that free position shot. She ran right into Lizzie Healy, who was just kind of standing there, and then boom, some contact, set that up. And then as you saw her kind of just rush in, number 18, Kate Severson, tried to slap that ball out of the stick, but our CD just is so good at controlling that ball, and she was able to adjust and still fire that shot.
It's really interesting, all the different players, how they have different strategies when they get the free possession shot. Brown got the ball and shot it instantly when she was able to, and then we saw our CD drive in there.
Yeah, it's no shock that Montclair has scored their first 2 goals off that free position shot. They had 26 of them last season. I remember there was games where it came down to the wire, and I think they beat William Patterson that way. As Brown looks to try to win another draw control, but she'll get whistled, and it'll be the Fords ball.
Montclair State doing a good job of causing that turnover to get the ball back.
When you think of spring sports, I think that it's going to be nicer weather out, and it's like 30 degrees out. I did not.
No, yeah, it looks so beautiful out right now. Like, the sun is shining, but it's freezing out.
I'm baking in here, so
yeah.
I don't.
I mean, we're lucky in here, but I mean, out there, maybe a reason why there's not too many fans.
Well, and especially the bleachers are just covered in ice.
Yeah, the other side actually. Oh, goal for the Fords, and it's now 2-2.
Well, what a huge shot there, just taking everyone by surprise on that Redhawks defense, and just firing away. And I think this game is going to be high scoring, and that's not a hot take based on the fact that we've had 4 goals in the first couple of minutes. But I think both teams have kind of just this sense of urgency, like, all right, let's go. We got a match, right? As soon as someone breaks that tie, you got to come up and bring it back to even. So a great job by the Fords to do so.
Yeah, I think both these teams are still just trying to feel out where they stand and see what the other team's doing, and they can just learn off of that and go forward.
I think you're going to see a much more concentrated defensive effort as we go on further into the game, because right now it's just all about offense and showing off what you got. Those adjustments on the defensive side are going to come later once both teams have kind of just done that feeling out period.
So far, both teams to win that draw control have ended up scoring on that possession. So shows how important that is, as it'll be Montclair State's ball. Morgan Connon will bring it up the field. She finds our CD behind the net. Over to Stack.
When I was at Stevens, we played Thompson men's lacrosse,
And now back over to Tristan Conan. That Conan to Connon connection.
Get it? Oh, wow. Connection?
Oh,
You didn't even.
I did not even.
Wow. Huge. Yeah. I mean, they've been playing together for a while, right? And they, last year I think they played really well together. Excited to see more of that this season.
A couple quick passes, and then Brown tried to get inside, was denied, and now it's going to be Doran who loses it, and it'll be Ford's ball. That was Hladkey with the change of possession. Oh, that was Ferenc who went down hard.
Yeah, it seems like she got tripped up by Conan there.
The Fords are 2 for 2 on offense when they're on their offensive side. They've scored. Looks like Lopez on that far side. Up top to Curran. Curran trying to make her way inside. She finds her teammate Hladkey, but they're unable to connect on that.
Yeah, Hladkey did a really good job of doing like a backdoor cut there. She had a really good opportunity if she was able to catch that, but unable to come down with it.
It'll now be a free position shot for the Fords.
they never stopped it. 30.
Shot clock needs to be changed from 22 to 30.
Our very own Pat Duffy just made the change.
He's always on top of it. Ferenc now inside. Passing it to Hladkey. Hladkey with a wonderful pass and goal for the Fords as they take the lead 3-2. Wow, I think everybody thought Hladkey was going to try to take it herself, and that just wonderful pass sets up the goal.
That was great field vision, too, to just see the cut happening. A great kind of a lead pass as well, and then just picked up so smoothly and rifled in. That was Mikulas on the goal. And it's more of what we've seen so far, right? Now the Fords are up by 1. It's time for Montclair State to respond.
Yeah, if you're looking at the history and the trends, it seems like Montclair will probably score here to tie it up.
You can tell this offense really runs through Hladkey, whether she's passing it or she is, just touching the ball on that offensive side. But the Fords 3-2. Neither team backing down.
Yeah, the Fords have been like to get a player with the ball at the top of the half circle and then just have a bunch of people just cut and make plays towards the net.
As it'll be the Fords ball, and there's a collision right at midfield.
And that's the second one that Ferenc has taken going to the turf, and you see Conan a little shaken up as well. We kind of saw almost inadvertently clotheslined Ferenc with the stick just based on how the contact was, but they both look okay.
Yeah, and it'll stay the Fords ball as we have about 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first period.
Also, going back to that Fords possession, that free position shot that they had, it takes a lot of confidence in the play that you're building up to not just take that shot when you have it. Instead, they ran a play and they were able to execute.
And another pass and score for the Fords, and they take a 2-goal lead here.
Matt?
so quick. I'm not able to see right there who scores.
I think that was Sam Silverman.
And Matt, you kind of doomed them by talking
Yeah.
about trends. What are you doing, Matt?
The announcer jinx. Oh, I have so much power. How important is the X position in lacrosse? You know, being able to go behind the net and stand behind the net and be able to run an offense to the back of the goalie. You know, I feel like that's such a huge part of lacrosse, and you really need somebody to be a good facilitator, to go behind the net and really just look at what's in front of you and make plays.
Yeah, for Montclair State last year, that was Malstad, right? She kind of found herself a lot of times behind the net, passing out of the X and setting up plays for the team, and which was valuable to have. Not only was she a great goal scorer, but she had that vision as well, and she was able to run the offense. So it's once again just another one of those adjustments. When you lose two big players like that, Montclair State this year is going to be kind of just finding who is going to step up, and they're going to need it in this game.
That's 3 straight unanswered goals for the Fords. That was an assist by Carolyn Alexis, and on the goal was Sam Silverman. Looks like it'll be Montclair State's ball. Our CD behind the net. She passes it to Stack. We've seen Montclair try to run these set plays. Hasn't worked yet. Maybe they can get one going here.
It's about finding that rhythm, right, and just looking for those cracks to open up in the defense. So far, the Fords have been pretty sturdy there. But the Red Hawks offense, they have so many natural scorers and a lot of athletic players as well to kind of get between those cracks. So, you know, I have confidence that they'll be able to find it, and they're going to have to cut into this lead.
Tristan Conan now trying to get inside. She's pushed out. That was Severson with a nice job on defense. Our CD with a nice move makes her way inside but blocked. Looks like maybe there was contact and our CD sets herself up for a free position shot, but what a move there.
And that's the athleticism that we're talking about, right? That's the kind of player, and that's the role that our CD is going to have to fill this entire season, is just slipping between defenders, and the spin move there at the end was pretty fancy too, and creating these opportunities even if you don't finish.
Yeah, it's funny that you were just talking about, you know, how this forward defense is being sturdy, and then our CD is able to find the cracks in between. You know, that announcer jinx.
It comes back to bite, yeah.
Was it green or yellow?
Our CD ran up last time.
Yeah, I was just about to mention. Do you think she'll just shoot it instantly, or she'll try and run to the goalie?
I think she runs.
Got it.
Let's see.
I think she's able to sneak, through any sticks. Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
Neither.
And the second choice I was going to do was, shoot from afar. Yeah. Stack. Trying to find somebody inside. She passes it up top, though. Back to Stack. Conan with a score. Montclair State 3. Haverford 4.
That was really, really good passing and ball movement by the Red Hawks. And again, it's the same thing that we talked about with the Fords on the other end. When you have that free position shot, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to just take it and try to power through? Are you going to finesse your way forward by running towards the net? Or are you going to pass it back out and set up a play? That right there, the Red Hawks were able to do. Great passing. They were able to fit it through some tight windows, and eventually the close score, cutting the lead to within 1.
Yeah, Brown had a really good opportunity, but had an even better opportunity was Conan, and she made that extra pass and had a really wide open opportunity.
Yeah, it's like hockey. It's a power football.
Conan had 32 goals last season. Finally gets her first goal of the season. 10 minutes into this game. We have about 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the first period. Montclair State down by 1, 4-3 against the Haverford Fords.
And able to retain possession now.
Did you? You want to try out for our team? He needs a middle.
Brown passing it to Arcidi. Over to Morgan Connon.
And this is important too, right? To be right back on offense, get the chance to tie up the game, really push the Fords and spread them to their limits right here. Don't let up.
Arcidi looking like she might be aggressive here. She loses it really quickly, but a little skirmish for the ball.
It was once again, a really great defensive effort. That was Healy, too, was getting in there. And they're just doing what they can to break up. Arcidi's the one that you don't want to let slip by you, so anytime you're able to disrupt her and slap that ball out, yeah, you're doing a good job on defense.
Now the Fords here looking to add to their lead. Making their way inside. That's Lopez.
No, I have a question for you to ask.
Oh, missed
Nice job
opportunity.
there for Montclair State on defense. Looked like the Fords lost the ball there, as now Montclair State has 3 minutes to work with. Well, with the shot clock, there's 80 seconds, but...
Yeah, it looked like Lillian stepped up into that one and just swatted it away. That's what you need. You need a real good goalkeeper, and she is one of the best in the conference.
DeNaver trying to make her way in. That's our first sub of the game. Tucker losing it, and now Brown taking it the other way. Both of these teams showing a little bit of shine on the defensive end after we saw some good offense.
Yeah, we were all expecting a high-scoring game, and it's kind of cooled down for a bit.
Well, I think we're starting to enter maybe a little bit sooner than anticipated the point in the game where the defenses are starting to adjust, right, and kind of taking note of the trends and starting to play a little bit more efficiently when it comes to stopping those goals.
So Montclair State is going to have it here with 2 minutes left in the first period.
Good cut from Doran.
Doran passing to Arcidi. Over to Brown. Conan up top. Morgan's going to take it here for the Red Hawks. What a snag by Conan, and what a save by Khan.
Yeah, you saw Conan there just barely. That pass was a little bit errant, but Conan just stretching that stick out to grab it and then turning it into a shot, but also a good save on the other end.
So the Fords could hold it for the rest of the period if they want.
Less than 1 minute remaining in the first quarter, less than 1 minute remaining.
Lopez looking for somebody. And some nice defense by the Red Hawks. That was your Russo.
Oh, but look at the Fords staying on offense. Great resiliency there in the face of some stout defense.
25 seconds to work with here.
Look out for the cutters.
Hold it. Turn it. Yeah, me too. Stop the shot clock. Did they tell you to do that?
Lopez passing it to Tucker.
Or did they tell her to shut the shot clock off?
Inside for the Fords, and they score again. With just 6 seconds left in the period, they take a 2-goal lead. 5-3 now.
Powering through Haley Doran. She ended up on her back on the turf there. Just a strong shot and a really aggressive kind of offensive attack there by the Fords. And, right before the first quarter ends, just expanding that lead just a little bit.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job of looking for that play. That's what they've been doing all of this first quarter is those cuts around the net. And Mikulas did a great job of finding that open area.
Yeah, you see, Matt, you can either jinx it or you could say it exactly how it's going to happen, and you said it exactly how it's going to happen there.
But the last time that we thought we had two options, a complete third one
Yeah.
happened. So who knows?
Don't listen to us.
Find the middle ground.
So with 6 seconds here, there'll be a draw control as Tristan Conan takes that. Throwing it forward, but nothing really going to happen there.
You wanted the Hail Mary, Matt, at the end of the quarter?
Oh, for sure. The last time I saw a Hail Mary was it was a men's lacrosse game last year, and I remember calling the goal, and it was incredible. I mean, like the goalie shot it from the 20-yard line all the way to the other side of the net, and it was an insane play. But Pixelot was focused on one of the fans on the left side of the field.
Brutal.
No way. Oh my gosh. I was wondering why you're telling me this. I've never seen it before.
Because you literally have never seen it.
You couldn't have seen it.
Good first quarter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 1:30 until they'll start that second period. But yeah, I mean, for the Fords coming out strong with 5 goals. And I mean, for the Redhawks, they've been in this, it's a back and forth game. Just the Fords kind of got the best of them in the last couple minutes there.
And this Montclair State team, seeing them for the first quarter in action since that finals loss to TC&J, and I think they look pretty good. There's still a couple things to iron out. Obviously, both teams are, we talk about it all the time, still in that feeling out period of the game. But this is a really, really good Redhawks program. They went 8-1 last year. They were undefeated through the regular season. They beat TC&J for the first time in program history, and it was a huge, huge upset by 1 goal. And then again, obviously facing them at home. To have that opportunity to play the final in the NJAC at home against a program like TC&J, that is a huge, monumental success for them. And they are going to look to replicate it in this season, but we're going to have to see if they can keep up to that standard, right? Because that's a pretty high one. If you're this Redhawks program, you need to prove that it's not a fluke, that you have the talent, you have the coaching, and you're able to adjust in a new season, and it all starts on game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the hammer. It's just, are they going to be able to sustain that high-powered offense that they had last season without Malstadt and without Costigan? It's just going to be who's going to be able to step up.
Yeah, the Redhawks have won their last 2 opening day games. See if they can try to make that 3 in a row. And Haverford has won their last 2 opening day games. And I guess you can say they've won their last 2 end of the regular season games because they've been the same game the last 2 years.
And Montclair State, I mean, one of the highest volume offenses in the NJAC from last season. You expect that to translate over this season. And so far, that's kind of been the trend, and we'll see what the final score ends up. But I mean, this is a team that averaged about almost 14.5 goals per game last season. So there's certainly more to come in this one.
I think a big difference for me in this game so far has just been Sarah Khan. Both teams have 6 shots in this game, and Khan has made a couple nice saves that have been crucial and clearly the difference in this one so far.
And especially for a team like the Redhawks, who are used to having a really good goalkeeper behind them to just help them score, because they know that they have it in the back pocket. So to come up against another one that's performing just as well or even better so far in this first quarter is an interesting challenge.
Haverford has 5 turnovers, Montclair just with 4. Haverford with 2 fouls and Montclair with 1. And Montclair State has won 6 of the 9 draw controls. They have won in a lot of these crucial stat lines, just not in the most important one and on the scoreboard. As Montclair State will get it going here. Stack to Brown. Up top to Conan. To Conan now. Looks like they'll just pass it around. Doran threatening there.
Seeing some good off-ball movement from Montclair State.
Gonzalez putting a little spin moves on. Nice pass to Conan right in front of her. And this Ford's defense just staying tough.
Yeah, I think the question that Montclair State has to answer is, can you get it past their defense?
Oh.
Don't
I'm actually surprised we got to quarter 2 for that.
That one's been queued up for a while.
Conan to Arcidi. And they're not able to connect on that pass, and it looks like it'll go the other way. It's so interesting in lacrosse because most of the game is played around that red line. And it looks like it could be a goal at any second, but also 5 minutes could pass by before anything happens there. As now Fords are taking it the other way.
Yeah, I've always wanted to kind of just pick the brains of these players. What are you looking for when you're passing it around? What slip up in the defense gives you that cue? All right, let's go for it with whoever has the ball in the moment. It's a mental challenge as well. It's kind of like you're battling mentally. Who's going to slip up? Can this defense be perfect? Can our passes be perfect? And can we set up a goal-scoring opportunity?
As here, the Fords try to do something, but the Redhawks swarm. That was Lopez. Tucker trying to find someone. And it looks like it was Conan to pick it off, and it'll be Redhawks ball.
What a great defensive effort for the Redhawks, and especially, like you mentioned, swarming Lopez there. I mean, she ran into about 5 white jerseys and fell to the turf, and it was nice, clean defensive play, and now they're able to set up to go on the attack.
Tristan Conan just casually running about 60 yards before she'll pass it.
Just a casual sprint.
I'm watching her. Arcidi with a goal and score. 5-4 Montclair State down by 1.
Huge goal by Arcidi. And you know, one of the things, also another thing that I love about lacrosse is that whenever there's a goal scored, the stick just goes 5 miles.
It's like a bat flip in baseball.
It is. Yeah. It really is. And you earn it, right? Because it's tough, right? But once again, Arcidi just racing in there, putting on a good shot close to the goal, forcing, Khan to try and adjust there. There she couldn't. 5-4 score, still down by 1.
How elusive is Arcidi? She is just so quick when she has the ball in her hands and so explosive with the ball.
Yeah, and she was one of those players coming off the bench last season. Now stepping up in this season, seems like she'll be a starter moving forward, as she has now 2 goals this game.
Yeah, we were pondering the question of who's gonna step up this season. After losing a few critical goal scorers, and it looks like Arcidi's definitely gonna take on the bigger role this season.
As Mikolas is the first one to really get that possession, and the Fords trying to hold on to this lead.
No, it's 10-minute halftime, by the way.
Silverman passing it to Lopez. Inside, trying to make something happen by the Fords, but nothing to do.
Really great breakup by look like Conan there defensively.
Mikolas had 2 teammates run inside, but decided to just play it safe to Lopez. Back to Mikolas. Tucker now. Tucker with some room to work with, and she'll score! The Fords back up by 2, 6-4.
What a shot. You see a lot of line drive shots to try and go into the top right or top left corner, but that was kind of like a bounce shot to keep the goalkeeper on her toes.
And keeping things fresh, right? If you're a goalkeeper, you never want to. It's kind of like in baseball, you need to sit fastball, because if it comes and you're waiting change up or curve, you'll never hit it. Right there, you've got to sit for the line drive, because if you're looking for that bounce, it'll just get fired right past your head. There's nothing you can do. So for Lillian, it's just about adjusting in the moment, seeing, okay, this thing's coming low. And you can see her right now kind of practicing her defensive move there and how she wants to be able to scoop that ball. But right there, it just happened too quick. It came in low. It was a great shot choice, and it took Lillian by surprise.
Looks like the Redhawks might have Doran enter the game. And this time it'll be the Redhawks who win that battle. That was actually Amber Gonzalez for the Redhawks taking that draw control.
Yeah, Amber Gonzalez, we know, very good defensively, right? A great presence on this team. Was hurt in last year's semifinal, right? And was a big reason why they had trouble in the final game because she just wasn't there to facilitate defensively. And so she's definitely going to want to come back this season after missing that final game and try to make an impact during the regular season.
Conan threatening inside. She'll pass it to Morgan Conan. Brown trying to attack, but she'll lose it. Conan, though, right there to pick it up as she now tries to make her way inside, but is just pushed to the back of the net. Conan now. Conan with a shot and save by Khan. Another save by the goalie for the Fords.
Yeah, and that's a spectacular save. Real good reaction. Once again, a low shot, no bounce, but Conan with a great opportunity there. Fired one towards the ankles, and Khan with a really great reaction, and she'll pass it out now. And you're going to need that for the rest of this game because this Redhawks team is going to come at you.
Khan up to a 50% save percentage. Has 4 goals let in, 4 saves. And the Fords trying to capitalize on that. It's been back and forth, 1 goal lead, 2 goal lead, but if the Fords can get a 3 goal lead here, that's getting dangerous for Montclair as you don't want this to just add on more and more. Ferentz now met by 2 Redhawks, and that will set up the free position shot for the Fords.
Did you guys do your Wordle today?
Oh, I did not.
I have not.
I never got yesterday's.
I forget what it was.
It ended with a D and had an I in there.
Oh, you didn't.
Vivid.
Yeah, that was the tough one.
Oh, no way.
What a save
Yeah.
by
Wow.
Lillian there.
Wait, so John, was your strategy just to not try and guess, or did you get it wrong?
I went three rows, and then I just forgot and gave up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a tough one. Two V's and 2 I's.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, there's no way I would. I mean, maybe I probably would have gotten there, but I just didn't apply myself.
I don't know.
I got the ID at the end, so it was like it had to be. It kind of set me up for a good understanding of what the word could be.
Because I know Matt's first 2 words, so
Yeah,
I saw his
yeah,
thing, and
when you send it,
Oh,
he
yeah.
knows what's gray.
I'm like, okay, it ends with a D.
Oh, and Tucker just wide left there. Lillian does a nice job making the save. Ferentz passes it to Lopez.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sending you guys my Wordle.
Back to Ferentz. Ball's just on the ground, scooped up there by the Redhawks.
Great.
Number 21, Claudia Fry.
Great job defensively by the Redhawks, right, as they'll keep control of it here. But the white jerseys swarm, right? We've seen it a lot last year, and we've seen that early today. Have been able to stop shots and able to stop this lead from growing too large. And now they just need to put it together on the attack.
What a snag by Khan in there. It's interesting in lacrosse the fact that you can have either a shorter stick or a long stick, and you can see the presence that Khan has on the field with that long stick. She made a really nice catch before on a pass from Cannon, so it's an interesting aspect.
Conan here. She's met by 2 defenders, and That was a nice job there by Healy for the Fords.
Once again, Healy's been doing a really great job covering Conan. It's hard when she has that spin move near the net. She wants to go for the goal, but some really great defensive effort forced her back out.
And the Redhawks look like they're going to lose it here.
Yeah, RC
Oh, no.
almost had a really good opportunity.
Back to the Redhawks.
See if they can make a play here.
At this time, last period, there was already about like half the goals. And we've only had about 2 goals in this second half. Second period.
I think it was just the growing pains, just feeling out the other team, just trying to pick up on their tendencies and really lock in defensively.
You know, I expected halftime to be the defensive adjustment, but it might be an offensive adjustment after the defense is kind of picked up here in the second quarter.
Conan inside to Arcidi. Arcidi shot blocked. And now it's going the other way.
Yeah, the Fords with a good opportunity for a counterattack here.
It's a nice job by Herzig, who had the block. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second period. The Fords are winning 6-4 over the Redhawks. We appreciate you if you're just tuning in here on the Red Hawk Sports Network alongside Matt Boucher and John Kosabin. I'm Jess Lipson. It's the season opener here for women's lacrosse here at Montclair State and the return to Sprague Field.
What better way to spend your Saturday afternoon?
Lopez getting past a couple defenders and puts a shot on goal, but just wide.
And there you saw the adjustment right by Lillian. It was the second shot that she got on the bounce on the short hop, and she was able to defend that one in the right way.
Tucker threatening a far shot. Lopez tries to make a pass on a cut, but that's going to be taken away by Uruso. Uruso's got to watch how far she goes. So she'll hand that one off to Carney.
How are your guys' lacrosse abilities?
I got smoked by my gym teacher once, like senior year of high school, and I never picked it up again.
You played lacrosse for a gym class in
Yeah.
high school?
Yeah, it was
Really?
like one time, and then but our gym teacher was like, he was nuts at it, and he like spun me out, and I ended up on the floor, and I just walked away. No
brutal.
shot. Yeah.
Conan now on the attack. I won't comment. Conan to Brown. How are yours?
It could be better. Yeah, really no experience in it.
So could be a lot better. The worst part is that my teacher, he wasn't that athletic at all, but he was nuts at lacrosse, man.
Conan to Brown inside, trying to find Doran.
Yeah, Doran with a really good cut. She was able to catch that. She had a really good opportunity on net.
Ran into Severson at the end of that play, too.
As that will be a whistle on, it looks like number 16, Gonzalez. Alexis passing it up this near side to Krieg. Krieg gets past 2 Redhawks. Does a nice job of that. And Krieg keeps it going. Yeah, that looks like it'll be a whistle on Maeve Carney.
And Krieg with that leg brace, right? Still looking pretty athletic. They're able to get around Montclair State offensively and played some good defense well earlier in the game.
Yeah, is it a penalty box or like a
Looks like just timeout. Looks
Penalty
like a
area.
It looks like go sit in timeout.
Yeah.
Tucker taking her time bringing it up. She passes it far side to Ferenc. Back up to Tucker. Some good defense there by Fry. And now the Fords are inside threatening, but then pushed back out. But here's Tucker. Too far left. And now Lopez with it. Passing it to Ferenc. Looks like it'll be eventually scooped up by the Red Hawk, Catherine Yaruso.
Got to be happy with that defensive effort if you're Montclair State. Did some really nice work right around the net, and now they've got a great opportunity on the fast break.
Conan able to get inside, but then steps back outside. CD to Conan. Trying to get past the defender. Nice pass to find Brown behind the net. There's 1 minute left in this second period. Montclair State trying to break into the 6-4 lead by the Fords.
Yeah, you want to cut it down to 1 before this thing ends, just to send a little bit of a message heading into the locker room. No one has scored in a while.
Yeah, I don't know how badly they want to give the ball back to Haverford because, we saw what happened when time was ticking down the last period.
The Red Hawks have 15 seconds to work with. They're going to have to put something up here. As they find Brown right in front of the goal. And she'll get the whistle to set up the free position shot here.
This is huge.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, it looked like a good stand defensively by Alexis on defense, but here comes Brown.
And Brown taking no steps forward and just gunning it into the back of the net. 6-5 Fords.
That would be Brown's second goal of the day. And how huge was that? Able to, like John, like you mentioned, to cut it within 1, to go into halftime. Well, they still have to play some defense here. But, to be able to get that momentum to go into halftime.
Green and Brown with 2 goals, Arcidi with 2 goals, and Tristan Conan with 1.
And Brown is one of those players that was one of the experienced leaders on the team last year. She's able to stick around for another one and being able to step up on the attack as well. She's just so good at what she does, and they're going to need that going forward.
Also, definitely need to point out Lillian has done a great job in this second half. 3 saves in the second half, just 1 in that first. Or period, I'm talking about.
Final 30 seconds. Let's see what happens. Fords definitely wants to retake a two-point lead here.
10 seconds. We saw the cut by Lopez, but she's not able to hold on to it. And a nice job by Fry.
Shoot it.
And then that will do it for the first half of this women's lacrosse game between the Haverford College Fords and Montclair State Redhawks. The Fords lead 6-5. We saw early on it was just goal, 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 and then in that second half it was kind of save, save, save. What were your guys' kind of takeaways?
I love the crunch right on both sides defensively, just to adjust and really bear down and stop the flood of goals that we were sure that we would see throughout the game, right? I think it was impressive, especially in that second quarter, how both teams were able to step up and limit the scoring as well as they did. It bodes well for the rest of the game. I think this one's going to be tight. Montclair State has slipped out to a couple of 2-goal deficits. But right now, they were able to put up a good one when they needed to in the final minute, and it's a 1-score game heading into half.
And you were talking about it earlier that the Ford's defense was sturdy and able to keep Montclair in front of them. And I think that just goes to show what both these programs have been starting to do in this second period. And Fords are sturdy. I have a Ford Fusion. It's done me well. I had a Ford Explorer, so they do well.
Right. Gerald Ford, big innovator for the country. Ford's Theater, not so much. That was pretty dark, but. So far, I think it's a great game. I think Montclair State is putting out a good showing. There's still a couple kinks to be worked out, but so far in that first half, I think you've got to be confident.
I have no Fords to add to the conversation, but moving on. No, I think for me, the biggest thing I mentioned it all game was Sarah Kahn and what she's been able to do in goal. I think a huge credit to that is the assistant coach Shannon Horn, who works with the goalies in practices, and is also a Haverford alumni. She played goalie there at this college, so that's huge for this team. John?
Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Can't forget that.
Oh, of course.
Get off my plane. All right, go.
Alrighty. Well, we have about 8.5 minutes until the second half of this game, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be back shortly. Hello and welcome back here on the Red Hawk Sports Network for the matchup between the Montclair State Red Hawks and the Haverford College Fords as we get set to start the second half here. And it'll be the Fords who start it off. Alongside John Koseman, I'm Jess Lipson. Oh, and we also have our friend Matt Boucher in studio as well.
Ouch.
Brutal.
It's just like the muscle memory of two men. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. I understand. You hate me.
But yeah, so the Fords started it off
He didn't
in that
deny
first
it.
half 6-5. Yeah, and, no question, no answer.
No comment.
I plead the fifth.
Has
was
there ever
it-
been a four-man booth?
Never.
Nah.
We should do that.
But no, that's impossible.
Two
we-
play-by-plays?
We could have two separate booths and then just, but like I don't. Going from a 4-man to two separate booths, it goes from friendship to competition. That's not fun.
You could do a 4-man panel.
Yeah, it becomes a podcast.
Yeah, essentially.
As the Fords take a shot, looks like it'll bounce out of bounds.
Once again, trying to catch Lillian by surprise on the bounce shot, right? But she's able to make that adjustment. That's just how good she is.
Yeah, we almost saw a similar start to the beginning of the first period.
As the ball's just kind of bouncing around, finally scooped up by Lillian.
Another good showing by Lillian back-to-back. Montclair State needs to take those successes defensively and with the saves and translate it into some scores, try and tie this thing up.
Hladky contributed to the Fords' first two goals and then has really yet to do something since then. Seems like maybe Montclair State has kind of gotten a hold on her. And the Red Hawks scoop it up and are now on the attack. Amber Gonzalez looking to take it herself. She'll find Stack. Stack to behind the goal. That's Arcidi with it. It was an eventful halftime. We all did our Wordles, and we all did them.
I did it the fastest.
No, actually, I did them. I did it the fastest.
I started a little bit after you guys, so I think we all evened out.
Brown with the real first attempt inside, and now it's Doran, it looks like, to Conan. And Conan with a shot, but that's going to be wide right.
Yeah, almost a good opportunity for the Red Hawks there. I'm very interested to see what this second half has in store for both the Red Hawks and the Fords.
Kind of slow offensively for both of these teams. 4 minutes into this one, into this period. Just a few shots on goal, but no goals. And now it's going to be Hladky. Tucker has it now. Back to Hladky. Wide left, almost proving me wrong right after I...
You know, you can really see that this offense has been going through Hladky, and you know she's been the playmaker, and she almost made a really good play there.
Yeah, this Ford's attack really peppering Lillian to start this third quarter. Eventually, you know, they've been playing this bend don't break. Right there, another stop.
Yeah, what a save there by Lillian. That shot was by Tucker. And the Red Hawks now going to try to go onto the offensive side. It'll be interesting to see what Hladky can do in a full season, having 5 goals in just one game. And really, the last time she had a full season was 2 years ago when she was a sophomore. Or actually all the way back to when she was a freshman. Now 5 minutes into the period. It's just been all defense the last 2 periods.
And this is, kind of unexpected, right? Because, well, especially Montclair State, we can speak to that the most because we've seen them so much. Really, really good scoring team, but this Haverford defense is it's been pretty stout, right? And they've been able to adjust, and as it looks like Conan goes down to the floor, but I mean, we've seen some really, really good lacrosse. Just kind of this mind game defensive battle between the two teams. It's been fun.
Yeah, last season Montclair State, in every single one of their wins, scored double digits. That was until the final game of the season. They only had 6 goals in that championship game. But like in their opener last season, 17-4. 2 games later, 14-5, and then 15-3. They know how to pile it on, and just are trying to look to get that going as they do it right there. And that's Rhiannon Brown knotting this one up at 6 for the Redhawks.
Guess who's going to lead the charge this season on the attack? It's Rhiannon Brown. So good already. Once again, scoring, just firing it into the back of the net. Her shot is so strong. It goes high, right? And it's very, very hard to defend. And just a great opportunity for her, opening the space up, tying things up with 9 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah, Brown with the hat trick.
Whew.
That's huge. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but when they throw that stick after a goal, it's just so sick, and it also looks sick on the highlight reel.
That's true.
You can check out all the highlights of this game on Inside the Nest.
Ooh, is this game of the week? I think it's game of the week this upcoming episode. Big.
Huge. Huge. As no one is able to scoop it up yet. And it'll be the Redhawks ball.
And that was huge to actually win possession after the scramble there. It started right dead center of the field, and then no one could really get a solid handle on it, but eventually it stays with Amber Gonzalez and the Redhawks.
She finds Conan. The Redhawks were up 2-1 in that first period, and then since then have not had a lead as they threaten here, but now it'll be the Ford's ball. It was a really good job by Giardini getting away from Arcidi. And there'll be another whistle on the Redhawks, and the Fords slowly making their way upfield.
Yeah, you'd think the urgency has got to set in now, as they've been in front pretty much all game. So now with a tie, they're going to want to take back the lead and not risk having Montclair State get out in front for the first time.
Lopez threatens. She passes it to Mikolas. And it looks like the Fords have a free position shot here. Lillian able to stop the last one. See if she can do it again. And she does that. Nice save there, and the Redhawks taking it the other way. That's Lillian's 7th save. Just 1 in the first period, 6 since then. A brick wall in net. Arcidi calling out a play. She'll give it to Stack. Stack and Conan not able to connect on that pass. And it looks like the Fords will take it now the other way.
Yeah, not often do you see a pass go that wide. Usually the Redhawks are pretty good at making those passes from outside and just kind of connecting on those. They're good with the stick and receiving, but right there it just kind of flew by, and now the Fords will take it.
Yeah, it looks like that it was actually number 14, Ferentz, got called up for a whistle, and it'll actually be now the Redhawks ball.
Even better.
The Redhawks tried to run a play last time around, See if they try to do that again.
That's fun. I got you, fam.
Yeah, the Redhawks have a lot of time since the introduction to the shot clock in 2019. They used to have all day to run an offense, but now it's limited to 90 to 80 seconds.
That was Doran trying to get an attack going. Looks like the Redhawks might have a free position shot here.
Yeah, that's a good call, Matt. The impact on pace of play, right? Teams are going to had to install entirely new playbooks, right? And it's a different dynamic. I think the Redhawks are one of the best teams in the conference at adjusting to that, the way that they've played.
It'll be Doran taking the shot here. She takes a couple steps forward and then throws it into the back of the net. Montclair State takes the lead 7-6 with 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in the period.
First lead of the game?
Second lead of the
Second
game.
lead
They
for
were up
Montclair
2-1, and now,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's big to finally come back and just take back ownership, right? And that's a statement. You're on your home turf. You're here at Sprague. You're inviting this team that you just don't know anything about, and you're in the position of power, right? If you're Montclair State coming into this game, you were in the NJAC final last season. You've been playing, and you want to win this first home opener to start the season out well.
Yeah, and they were down 6-4, so those are 3 straight goals, too. Huge, able to get them back into the lead.
That's a good point. It was 6-4 for a while, right? And then all of a sudden, 3 in a row for Montclair State to really make this statement.
This period alone, Montclair State with 2, Haverford with 0. Haverford trying to change that now.
We're seeing a really good impact from the senior class so far. All 3 goal scorers for Montclair State are all seniors. Our CD, Brown, and Doran. So that's going to be critical this entire season, is their veteran experience and shot making.
And that was a big time collision there as Silverman went down hard. She'll clearly have her free position shot.
Yeah, it's seen from the contact from Zazero. And Zazero tried to lend her a hand to help her back up, but was not taken.
Going back to what you just said about the seniors, they can bring them all back next year too, which is pretty sick. So
Seeing a good opportunity here from Haverford.
less than 5 minutes left in the period. Ford's trying to knot this one back up. Second free position shot for the Fords in this possession. Seems like the Redhawks are doing a nice job of staying tough, and that will now be a goal for the Fords right as I say that, to knot this one up at 7 with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, and what was key there was Amber Gonzalez going down to the turf and staying down for a few seconds. Montclair State then was disadvantaged, one of their better defenders laying on the field, and Fords knew that they only had a few seconds of that one player advantage. They were able to take a really good look, tie up the game.
Yeah, Julia Curran did a great job of finding the open turf and get into a good spot and in a good position to make that shot. One thing that I wanted to mention was, looking at these rosters, Montclair State, every single player is from New Jersey. And then when you look at Haverford, it's like Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. There's even Kentucky, Texas, Virginia. It's super interesting to see, the diversity that these teams could have.
It's a melting pot of different philosophies, right? And to kind of bring those players together That's all coaching, right? To meld them into one unit, take from all their different experiences, and so far they look really, really good out there.
It's going to be Healy at the top. Trying to squeeze inside. She gets it to Ferentz. To Lopez now. Back to Ferentz. What a cut pass and score for the Fords as they now take the lead. I mean, you can't write that play up any better than that.
I mean, yeah, that's just their offense that we've been seeing all game. You know, it's just getting into that X spot or behind the goal, and then just having a bunch of backdoor cuts. And it's so hard to defend if you're a Montclair State defender because you never know when it's coming.
And that's something that we saw from the Fords earlier in the game, where just putting up 2 quick goals consecutively once it started to seem like the momentum was shifting the Redhawks' way. So I think they've shown a really good awareness of the game and kind of when they need to take back over, and they've seemingly been able to do it at will when it's most counted.
That goal was by Jordan Denaver, assisted by Catherine Ferentz.
You know, it's really interesting. You know, they just scored, and then you have the drop ball, and they were able to get the ball back and then score again. You know, that's just the beauty of lacrosse, is that you can score in a hurry without letting the other team get the ball.
So now, just like that, the Redhawks are down by 1. Able to get that lead back, but the Fords just taking it back away. Carney passing it to Arcidi and then running all the way back to midfield.
It's imperative that the Redhawks don't rush here or kind of press, right? Because they've been able to run their style of attack and just get their goals when they need them. So try not to get discouraged by going back down after getting a taste of that lead again. Just play the game that they've been playing and they'll be fine.
Brown gets past the first defender and scores! Ties this one up 8-8. And that was just such a sick move.
Oh my goodness, Dash John Edmond. That was a beautiful play. The crisscross applesauce shot top left. Nothing better than that.
And it's funny because Brown is one of those scorers that just kind of powers through you with the shot, but right there she showed a little bit more finesse as Matt dances in the booth. And I'll tell you what, taking over at the beginning of this season, kind of just sending a message to the conference, right? They're going to be watching this game.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be the leader here, and stepping up, she has.
You know, things are spicing up here at Sprague.
She's contributed to now 5 of the 8 goals for the Redhawks. 4 goals and 1 assist. I mean, these two teams, from what we've seen so far, it doesn't get much more even than this back and forth.
You know, it's really interesting because we didn't know how this game would go because, you know, the little that we had on Haverford is we didn't know how this game was going to play out. And yeah, like you mentioned, you know, these teams are pretty well balanced.
And if you're Montclair State, you had to prepare for that sort of dynamic, right? You can't overestimate yourselves. You can't underestimate the other team, especially if you have nothing to go off of. So the fact that they've been able to hold them this close and play them this balanced is impressive.
Yeah, preparing for a game against Haverford is way different than preparing for a game like TCNJ.
Now Haverford on the attack. A lot of fakes inside. Nothing really going. Harrington passing it up top to Silverman. Ooh. Nice job there by Maeve Carney. Poking that one back out, but it's going to stay the Ford's ball.
Yeah, Carney just leaving her feet right, waving that stick far up in the air and slapping that one down. But the Fords, nice job of keeping with it.
A minute 30 left. Nice save there by Lillian.
And that was a great team up by Yaruso and Lillian Yaruso, applying the pressure, kind of forcing the attacker around, and then Lillian with a nice stop.
They do get called on the whistle, though, so the Fords have a free position shot here with a minute 30 left. 20 seconds on the shot clock, though. And she wastes no time sending that one into the back of the net for a 9-8 lead now for the Fords with just a minute and 30 left in this third period.
All right, I'll take it back. It ended up burning them. But now back out to this lead. And, it kind of goes back to what we mentioned before about the Fords and how resilient they were. Now they've been able to take advantage of that free position shot. Before they were able to kind of just naturally create their opportunities. But right there, just taking advantage of what the Redhawks defense gave them and taking that lead.
I'm sure it'll be talked about all season long for the Fords, but we need to emphasize they've only had 2 games in the last 2 seasons. It's a lot of patience, sticking it out there and, just waiting, knowing your time is eventually going to come. And, I was talking to Coach Zakelli, and this is the time that they've been waiting for. They've been waiting so long, and I'm sure, and we've seen it so far, they've taken full advantage of it.
Right, everyone's the main character of their own story, right? And right now it's Haverford just, like you mentioned, building up to this moment. It could not be bigger in the minds of these players and these coaches. So to come out here and show this type of energy and grit is definitely super, super rewarding for them as a program.
Let's see how Montclair State can answer here.
Tristan Conan. She'll hold on to it and then get back to behind the net. Montclair State looking like they'll take their time, maybe finish the rest of this period with the ball.
Yeah, shot clock's turned off.
Why? We're under 90. Didn't you say that we weren't running it? I don't either.
See a cut there from Doran. Now it's a cut by Egan. And now we see a cut by Arcedian. Score! 9-9. It's all knotted up.
Beautiful find from Conan to find our CD inside. Great pass. Great shot.
Once again, the patented RCD score just slipping her way through defenders. She was sandwiched, right, by black jerseys there as she got that inside feed. But the quick hands, the wrists as well, to be able to just turn around and fling that thing into the back of the net. She has such a natural inclination and feel for that type of shot, and she's able to slip through. What a play.
We've seen them try that connection a couple times now, and, it worked once or twice earlier on. See, it worked just awesome there.
But yeah, now the Fords have 19 seconds.
Uh-oh, don't count them out just yet, right? That's more than enough time if they want
Yeah.
to try and speed through this. But they have to win this face-off right here.
Or the Redhawks have 19 seconds. Let's see who retains possession.
It'll look like it'll be the Redhawks with 15 seconds to work with. Gonzalez bringing it up, tried to get it to Doran. Conan scoops it. But it'll look like it'll be a whistle on the Redhawks, and the end of the period will sound.
I'll tell you what a Conan was ready to go. If it weren't for that whistle, she was heading straight for that goal. Immediately popped off a spin move and was probably going to charge forward. But, end of the quarter, right? We head to quarter number 4 and tied up at 9, guys.
We have an exciting finish on our hands.
Yeah, it'll be interesting these next 15 minutes. See who can come through with the win, as it's knotted up here 9-9. We have about a minute 30 left. On the Red Hawks side, what do you think they need to do to win this game?
A lot of things, I'll tell you that much. It seems like resiliency for the Fords is what's holding you back if you're Montclair State, right? Because every time it seems like they break through, it just happens again, right? And Montclair State has had those couple of chances where it's like, all right, we tied the game, we got out by 1, but they haven't had the urgency of the moment that the Fords have had, where they don't let the game slip away. We've seen Montclair State down by 2 before, but the Fords have been able to kind of arm up and just recognize situations where they really need to tie things up or take the lead, and they've been able to do so far.
Yeah, no, you definitely make a good point. I think Montclair State has to keen in on being able to stop Haverford on the offensive side. It just feels like every time Haverford gets a good opportunity where they get inside that half circle, that they're able to get to the X spot behind the goal, and then you see a bunch of backdoor cuts. And, Montclair State hasn't done a really great job of defending that, so they should really, really keen in on being able to work on the defensive side.
In the first half, Montclair State lost on the scoreboard, but won in the turnover margin and was winning in the foul margin. And it's the opposite in that third period, as they won that period 4-3, but they had way more fouls and a couple more turnovers.
I think in this final quarter, you've got to be disciplined, right? You can't foul, you can't lead to any free position shots. You don't want to give, and this goes for both teams, you do not want to give the other side any chances more than them it just naturally occurring right through plays. So that's how tight this game is. That's how talented both attacks have been. So you really just want to be disciplined, kind of key in on making your own plays and not making mistakes. And the team that does that the best will have the best shot going forward to win this one.
Of course, another thing that is that both these teams, of course, need to score, but no matter how much time is left on the clock, the other team could score right away, and they cannot think they've won this game at any point until the buzzer sounds. As these 15 minutes are underway, and it'll be the Red Hawks who get it going first.
And we might have seen a goal scored in the final minute of each quarter. Does that sound right to you guys? It sound right to me.
I take your word for it.
Thanks, man. You got it, man.
Krieg does a nice job getting away a couple defenders. It's now Mikolas who will bring it upfield. She finds the neighbor.
I'm going to make a prediction that the first team to score will win the game.
Ooh.
You're really going out there on a limb with a 50-50 chance.
Super hot take.
Sometimes you got to play the percentages,
Or does somebody want to take the opposite of that?
No, because I agree. As now the Fords shot on goal. That was Ferentz. It's going to be too high, though.
Yeah, looks like she got fouled.
Here we go.
Ferentz. Free position shot here. Just wide left.
Conan and Conan teaming up there to stop Ferentz from taking the lead. Great effort. Now they just need to lock up for the rest of this possession.
Yeah, I want to say that if you're Montclair State, you can take a sigh of relief there, but the Fords still have the ball.
Lopez looking for somebody to cut. She'll find Ferentz at the top. Ferentz heavily guarded by Morgan Connon. DeNaver trying to get past a couple defenders.
Just watch the backdoor cuts.
Now Mikolas gets the ball taken away, but I think that's going to set up a free position shot now for Mikolas.
And, this is exactly what you didn't want to do, right? If you're Montclair State, is give them this many opportunities. We'll see how it shakes out.
Now 2 in this possession, and that one doesn't go in.
Oh, that's so big, hitting the post there. But the Ford's still on the attack.
Yeah. They'll keep this one going. 60 seconds
Montclair
still
State,
on the shot clock.
Montclair State bending but not breaking. Ooh. Good switch on the defensive side.
Silverman trying to get inside. She can't. She'll pass it to Ferentz. Ferentz with a really nice pass to Healy, and Healy will score! 10-9. And if anyone wants to listen to Matt, I guess Haverford has won this one, but we still have 12 minutes left as Haverford is up 10-9. Goal here by Healy.
What a
And-
great shot.
Yeah, and they faced a pretty good defensive effort. Zazro was doing a great job kind of on the perimeter, just pushing, but they were able to, I think the movement as well, the ball movement for these teams, just to open up the little bit of space that they needed, fly that ball through the net. And now with 12 minutes to go, still a lot in this one, but Fords once again with that lead.
It kind of felt like that goal was inevitable, especially for this
Yeah.
beginning of this period. It's just it was all Haverford. They had a few really great opportunities that they weren't able to capitalize on, and it was pretty surprising that they weren't able to capitalize on those. But then in the end, they were able to score.
As they look to get it going again, Haverford has 7 different goal scorers in this game. Their 2 main assists people have no goals. That's Lopez with 2 and Ferentz with 3.
Assisters.
Just like how they're sisters on the field.
Oh,
Great backdoor cut.
yeah. The pass just too strong, right? It could have been a sick chance at a goal.
But that's their offense right there. I'm sure they're going to get another good opportunity.
Curran making her way inside, trying to get a whistle for herself. Now Lillian scoops it up. So see if the Redhawks can try to get it going on their offensive side.
Lillian really needed to take control there.
Yeah, Lillian did a good job of like you mentioned, taking control and not letting anybody get to that.
If the pass wasn't mishandled, maybe they could be on the attack right now, but they've still got to arm up. Ford's still just really putting the pressure on here. And like you mentioned, it seemed like that last goal is inevitable. Right now, they're putting up the same sort of charge. So we'll see if Montclair State can just barrel down here and prevent a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, it's like the Ford's motor is just continuously running.
The assembly line.
Somebody's getting a yellow.
And it looks like the Redhawks will get the whistle again and another free position shot. So John's number 1 rule, Montclair State has now broken 4 times in this first 5 minutes of this court period. Lillian with the save off the helmet?
Off the face, it looked like.
Way to use your head, Lily.
Toy Story 2. I don't want to use my head. Poof. Through the vents. Rex. Yeah.
Nice.
Why did we get off for halftime show? We should have had a halftime show, and you guys should have sang.
But you have to pay for that. We don't do that for free.
Okay.
That's what John and I are known for.
Yeah. If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Montclair State passing it around, trying to knot this one up at 10. Arcidi loses it, but scoops it right back up.
Yeah, the presence of Alexis was enough to scare Arcidi away. Thought she might try for a wraparound goal, but it was a good effort up front.
Arcidi cut inside, and they tried to connect there. It eventually gets out to Doran up top. Brown already with a couple goals. And the Redhawks at least get the whistle, and they'll have that free position shot. It'll be Doran here.
Here we go. This is exactly what makes it okay. If you're going to make the mistakes on the other end, cash in on these on the attack.
Doran passing it to Conan. Interesting decision there, just not able to connect on that pass.
And if Conan was able to receive that pass cleanly, would have had a great look in front of the net, but just couldn't, bounced off the stick.
Definitely seemed like a good idea, especially because Doran was on the left side of that half circle, and she was pretty much surrounded by forwards, but Conan had a good shot opportunity.
Looks like there it was a timeout for Haverford. So it's 10-9 here between Haverford and Montclair State with just 9 minutes left. Montclair State had the opportunity there to score, unable to do so, and now it's Haverford. The difference there is Haverford was unable to score on their first try too, but they got it back. Didn't work out the same way for the Redhawks. In this fourth period, it's 4 shots for Haverford. It's been actually 0. It comes up for Montclair State.
I think we've seen a lot in this final quarter. Just it's a representation of the game as a whole, right? This back and forth, the mentality is still the same, and you're going to see more of it heading for these final 9 minutes. It's just about who gets that last chance, right? You have to keep close, keep it to within 1 or tied, and then both of these teams have showed that they can score at any time. So I'm sure we won't have an answer as to how this one's going to play out until the very final minutes.
Yeah, and the Redhawks already with 3 turnovers in this fourth period. That's not a recipe for success. Lillian, though, on the defensive side has made some nice saves, as well as just some good overall defense. So like coming out of this timeout, it'll be Haverford. It's number 7, Carolyn Alexis, getting it started.
Montclair's going to have to come out strong. You talked about it. This period has been all Haverford. 4 shots and a goal. And Montclair just hasn't really been able to do much except for that last possession that they had. Haverford with a possible opportunity here. I'm sure we're going to see some cuts that they'll make, and Montclair just have to be on the lookout for those.
I would hope no one gets cut in the middle of the game.
Now, that could be taken 2 ways. Like cut from the team, or like a scratch.
Which one are you not hoping for?
Both. I mean, both of them sound horrible. But I feel like you can rebound a bit better from a little bit of a scratch on the forehead than getting released.
Rather than Coach kind of saying
mid-game. Silverman makes her way inside and scores, extending this lead for the Fords 11-9.
And that is big, right? Because for so long, this game has been back and forth. It's been tied. It's been 1-goal leads, but right there, getting out to 2 with under 8 to go, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it before. It feels like every time that the Fords get a good opportunity that they're able to capitalize on it. And so Montclair State has to really key in on this offensive possession. That you can't go a couple more possessions without scoring, because Haverford's going to be able to take their time. They're going to be able to run the full 90 seconds, and and not let Montclair State get the ball back. So Montclair has to really focus on scoring as much as they can here at these last 8 minutes.
And you can't just be too complacent, right? If you're the forwards, because sometimes you hear in soccer they'll say the 2-goal lead is kind of the most dangerous to have, because you think you have yourselves a cushion, you let up a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's right back to a 1-goal game, and anything can happen.
So the Redhawks trying to break into this lead here. They'll have the ball on their offensive side. You mentioned the installment of the shot clock. I mean, still with 90 seconds left, it's going to take, time becomes a factor sooner or later. Still 7 minutes left, but cannot take any possessions for granted here if you're the Redhawks. Conan making her way inside. She passes it to Arcidi. Arcidi not able to hold on to it, but does a really nice job getting it back to Conan. At the top is Doran. Tries to pass it to Arcidi again. But that's taken away. It looked like Mikolas.
Yeah,
Actually, my apologies. That was Severtson.
And that's just one of the things that you hate to see if you're a Red Hawk. I mean, you're throwing away possession like that. It's crucial. Because now the sense of urgency is just not much for Haverford. You don't want to get complacent, but you also don't want to give the ball to the Red Hawks immediately. But I'm sure if they get a good opportunity, they'll take it.
Yeah, and in these moments is when you figure out the identity of each team. You're down by 2. How do you respond? How do you fight back? Where's that urgency? And if you're up by 2, how well do you control the ball and the pace of the game and run down that clock as much as you can?
Tucker here makes her way inside. Not going to be able to get a shot off, but still gets the whistle for a free position shot.
And this one is huge, because if you're Montclair State, you do not want to go down by 3. Got to have a stop here.
And that they do, as that's wide right. Tucker, though, stays down.
Yeah, Tucker
maybe got hit with a stick.
Went down immediately. I didn't see what sort of contact she got, but because there were 4 white jerseys around her. Just looking on the replay, looks like maybe she could have got a stick, in the upper body area. Other than that, I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, surrounded by Redhawks, and trying to get that shot off.
I mean, you're not going to stop all of them, but the Redhawks have done a great job of protecting those free position shots. They have, stopped a couple of them now. And not just Lillian in goal is doing a really good job, but I mean, like you said, that there was a swarm of Redhawks around her when she took that shot off.
And that's the urgency, right, that we're talking about of a team that's down by 2 this late in the game. You have to push and be aggressive and come out successful, because you can't let them score again.
And that was just an unfortunate mistake for the Redhawks, as the forwards get it right back with 5.5 minutes left.
I think this is the moment where you start to look at the clock and think, all right, yeah, we have to really go fast.
Lillian steps up.
And that's a great example of that. She wouldn't be doing that if it was the first period.
And now she's out by the 10. Yeah, got to dish it off and get back in goal.
Because you want to stay aggressive. You want to get the ball in for your team, but you also don't want to lose it and then are forced to give up a wide open net.
Any sport where you have someone in goal, it's always interesting to get to that point in the game where that goalkeeper kind of makes the decision, all right, I need to start being more aggressive, or I need to start getting out more instead of just staying where you are, because if you know that you can help your team out and they absolutely need it, you've got to be willing to get out there and make the aggressive play and start to push. So it's nice to see Lillian kind of make that recognition.
But also it's interesting because, less than 5 minutes left, And usually, like you mentioned, soccer, maybe you would send up a few defensive players to help on the offensive side. In lacrosse, you can only have 7 on the offensive half. So it's so interesting to see what's going to happen here.
Here the Fords look to add. That's Nicholas who goes down.
Ran into a wall of Montclair State defenders.
By the way, Alan Lillian, we haven't really talked about it. Obviously, an All-American in her career. She was named Montclair State Woman of the Year during the New Jersey Association of Intercollegiate Athletics for Women's celebration of National Girls and Women in Sports Day last week. Great honor for her.
As the Fords score and extend that lead 12-9. And this fourth period has really just been all Haverford.
You know, maybe I should have waited until after the goal to maybe lift some spirits afterwards. Rough transition there. But yeah, I mean, that's just when you make the mistakes that lead to the free position shot, that's what happens, and it leaves you open to that 3-goal deficit now for Montclair State. And like you said, Matt, I mean, we are past the point of looking at the clock. If you're the Redhawks, you're down by 4.5, and you let those type of goals go back. Now it's starting to get a lot more difficult to come back in this one. Not only do you need 3 goals to tie, but you need 4 to actually win this one, and that's if you keep solid on the defensive side and stop this Ford's attack from scoring, which has been proven hard to do so far today.
You know, it's interesting, though, because with lacrosse, you know, you can score and then you can get the ball back and score again. But also, if you think about it the other way, Haverford just scored, they can get the ball back again.
And it looks like they do. And with 4:20 left, Haverford has possession, and I'm sure they will be taking their time.
Yeah, because realistically here, they can get it down to under 3 minutes.
And it's impressive what the Fords have done against Lillian going back to her season last year. First team All-Region, first team All-NJAC, goalkeeper of the year. Led the NJAC in goals against average per game with just under 8. Save percentage at about 60%. You know, she is so good in goal. So to see the Fords put up this good of an attack against her is impressive and says a lot about them as a program.
Yeah, I actually talked to Coach Zakelli, the head coach for Haverford, and having to deal with Lillian, and it came down to she joked, it's like, how do you tell your team the toughest part is the person in net that you're gonna have to be going up against, and it's just the amount of shots that they can rattle off. That's what's gonna really get to her. And I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. Lillian has 9 saves and is doing above 40% save, but it's just the ample amount of shots against her. Eventually, anybody's going to be giving up 12 goals at that point.
You guys give me your pop culture references. I'm going to give you mine. I like it because I give it to you too. So.
Gotta arm up defensively here if you're the Redhawks. Turn this possession into a scoring one for yourselves and chip in that lead, because now we've hit 3 minutes to go. It's crunch time right here. It's now or never.
Tucker finds Curran. Curran being slowly pushed further and further away. And now Hladky found an opening, and now she goes down.
Here we go. I mean,
This could do it. Hladky from the top. and she shoots and scores, extending this lead to 14-9.
Just an impressive attack by Fords all day, right? And that's what they've been able to do, is take advantage of the mistakes, and that's been the story. And right now, the biggest lead that they've had all day, it comes at it. That's the icing on the cake, right? There's no shot of losing this one if you're Haverford right now. So,
yeah, I mean, they have Haverford this period has 4 goals, 8 shots, and Montclair State has just a goose egg next to them for both of those stats. That's just, I mean, it's how we've seen this, and it's how you clearly feel like this game is going. Last period we're talking about how even these teams are, and I mean Haverford just looking to finish this one up with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the 4th period.
how encouraging is that as a program who only played 1 game last season to come out in this one? They've been waiting so long. I mean, the locker room must have been electric pregame, just knowing that they were about to play a full actual game here against a good Montclair State team, and to fight them every step of the way, to be so close throughout the first 3 quarters, and then come in the final one and really recognize this is where we have to pull away. That's exactly what they did, not only on the attack but defensively as well, have not given Montclair State a chance to get back in this one, and it's paid off as they're in a really, really good position to take away with the victory.
It's honestly remarkable the way that Haverford has been able to play today, considering the fact that they've only played 2 games in the past 2 years.
Montclair State shot just wide left. Yeah, I mean, Haverford also coming into this game ranked 5th in the, preseason polls had them 5th in the Centennial Conference, opposed to Montclair State, where you have them 19th in the country. They knew they were going up against a really tough team, and they came on both cylinders, scoring just seconds into the game, and then also holding this Redhawks team to below. They're still in single digits in this game with 1 minute and 15 left.
Yeah, this fourth period hasn't been good for Montclair State. Comparing the two, it's Haverford's had 8 shots to Montclair's 1. Haverford's had 4 goals to Montclair's 0. So it's just that's the difference of today. The first 3 periods were as tight as could be, as it was 9-9, and this 4th period was the pull away.
Brown shot just off the post, it looks like. Mikolas going to scoop that one up, and there's no shot clock. Or, yeah, actually it's like about 10-second difference. No, actually, no. Yeah. My minutes and seconds kind of got a little mixed up there. It's been a long game, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, looking ahead, Montclair State's gonna host FDU Forum in about a week. Yeah, Haverford's gonna host Scranton in about 2 weeks. Shout out to Michael Scott.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. I've called Scranton games and I've never made that reference.
Really?
Yeah. Have you every single time you call a Scranton game?
I haven't called the Scranton game.
Nice.
But no, it's
maybe
funny
that's a preview.
I'm currently
you're not calling it.
rewatching The Office. So
there's this like really fun game. I don't know if you're an Office fan. That was a nice save by Lillian. There's this really fun game called actually I forget what it's called.
Wait, are you referring?
Office Downsizing. It's like a game you play with like your friends, and it's really fun.
I mean, it would be fun if every time you brought it up to your friends, they said, yeah, let's play, instead of, I guess.
As the Redhawks with 10 seconds left try to get one last goal in, and Morgan Connon does it. Gets them to that double-digit mark, but just too late as it's 13-10.
Yeah, that's kind of what they needed, right? Just get to double digits right before the end of the game. Morgan Connon, kind of been quiet on the attack. She's been more facilitating today, but able to sneak inside and get that backhanded bounce shot into the goal. Just a crafty move by the veteran, right, Morgan Connon. So just getting on the board. You don't want to get completely shut out in that 4th quarter and just completely roll over. So just getting to double digits is probably as good as you can get right now for Montclair State at the end of the game.
The Redhawks looking ahead will have about 7 games out of conference until they get to April 9th, where they'll be at TCNJ. Of course, a huge matchup there between the preseason top two teams in the NJAC. But that will do it for us here today as Haverford comes away with a win 13-10 over the Montclair State Redhawks. We saw some really good moments for the Redhawks here and there, but they just could not get it done at the end of the day.
No, yeah, for sure. You know, it was the first three quarters were really good for Montclair State, and you know they looked like the team that they were last season. But then when you go to this fourth quarter and you know you're not able to get the ball, you know, Haverford is just dominating the time of possession. It was really just really tough for Montclair State, and I'm sure that's going to be something that they'll go forward and realize that they have to change.
Yeah, I think they just ran into a really good goalkeeper in Con Wright. Only 4 saves on the day, but that's just how good her defense was to help her out. And because Montclair State got outshot by 10, right? Haverford 27, Montclair State 17, so they just weren't able to get as many of those opportunities. That's actually a positive for this team in the way that they play, because they didn't play bad at all. They played pretty well. It's just Haverford was so good today, and to get 10 goals on those 17 shots, if they were allowed to get even within the margin of, say, Haverford with 27, it might be a completely different ball game. But you know, at the end of the day, it's fouls, right? It's making mistakes on the other end and just allowing Haverford to take advantage of opportunities that they were just handed. So you got to tighten it up as the season goes ahead, but I think it's a good start.
But what a performance from Brown and Arcidi. You know, Arcidi with 3 goals and 2 assists, and Brown with 4 goals and 1 assist. And I think that's one of the takeaways that you can look in a positive outlook, is that, you know, this team is in good hands, leadership-wise. You know, Arcidi is going to step up, and Brown had a really great game, and Doran's gonna do her thing. And you know, we got to see Conan at the very end.
Yeah, I think another thing we have to look at is this loss is not as huge as it was last season. You know, they only had 9 games in the entire season. This year they'll have 14 in just the regular season here. So this loss can easily be brushed off as they saw some good moments, and I'm sure they have something really big to look back at, and that's that fourth period. It just did not go the Redhawks' way at all.
For sure, and then heading into the matchup against FDU Florham, that's going to be on Wednesday, still here at Sprague, right? So you get to stay home and just try and grind out that first home win before you go on the road this season. Yeah,
totally. Well, that will do it for us here at Red Hawk Sports Network. We appreciate you tuning into today's game as Haverford College took the best of Montclair State by a score of 13-10. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you.